Streaming.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Triple Threat Show on our YouTube page at the Triple Threat Show. My name is Jeremy Lapidus, host of this Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my two friends and co-hosts.
Shane Brisland.
And
Hayden Raymer.
thank you so much for tuning in. We have a great show for you guys. But first of all, how was your guys' week?
Hayden, would you like to start this off, or do you
I'll
want me
go
to go first?
All
right.
I started my internship. Did my first little write up for them. I got like 1,000 views on that article in the first 5 hours. Which is pretty cool.
Sweet.
That's like more than I've ever gotten on any other article combined.
It's pretty cool.
Some snaps for Hayden.
Just out here doing the thing. Celebrating my 3-month anniversary, all that fun stuff. Just,
Wow.
little
All
things,
right. It's a good week.
Blast. Yeah.
Yeah, so the big thing that happened in my week was I met my sister's boyfriend. He came down to visit. It was funny because I completely forgot that he was visiting, because my family kept on telling me, "Hey, yeah, he's gonna be here. He's gonna be here this week." And I'm like, "Wait, he really? This week?"
Mm-hmm.
And then the day of, my parents were saying, "Hey, we're going to Virginia Beach to get some seafood." And I was working like an 8-hour shift that day. And I was like, "Oh, sweet. I wonder what the occasion is." And I call my dad. I'm like, "All right, I'm on my way home. I'm running a little late. I was held up with a customer." And I was like, "So what's the occasion that we're going to Virginia Beach for seafood?" And then my dad was like, "Hunter's here." And I'm just like, "Oh, shit. I forgot about that." No matter how many times I was told that he was arriving, I just kept on forgetting. And then all of a sudden he was just here. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Yeah, but he was a great dude. I've had a lot of fun. Played some video games, played some hockey with him. It was pretty fun. He's a good guy.
When you started that story, I thought it was either you were going to forget you had a sister or forget your sister had a boyfriend. But, because the way that started was
the common thing of forgetting you have a sister.
Yeah,
it happens all the time.
I don't know about you, but it happens to me every day.
All what? You have
he wakes up and then for the first 30 minutes
I wake up, I go downstairs, I see my little sister, I'm like, "Oh, I forgot you existed."
I mean, listen, I have the object permanence of a baby. If I don't physically see you, I just completely forget about you. Yeah. I was like, "Oh wait, I have a radio show." Well, the one that ever I get a text in the group chat, it's pretty bad. It's really bad. The other day, I was halfway through a 5-hour shift, and I was like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend." Just I don't know how she's doing. Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Or you're like, "Oh, I have roommates.
I have roommates.
I don't just have this apartment to myself."
The only reason why I remember about Kyle is the lamp. I'm going to be completely honest.
I texted Kyle this week. He didn't respond.
I mean, he didn't respond when I first texted a while back either.
Well.
And he also didn't... Did he figure out the rent thing, Shane?
Yeah, I figured it out.
That's
it
good.
was it was the whole new contract thing, so rent wasn't due or something like that.
Okay.
So it was due 2 weeks later than it usually is. So we are lucky we figured that out. I was 2 days from missing a payment. So.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
but get kicked out.
We were on time with the payment.
You got evicted.
So good. I set up my recurring payments again, so we're good.
Rip Shane. Anyway.
Oh wait, I should probably put this at the end.
What'd you say?
Nothing. Don't worry. I'm just linking it on my Twitter.
Okay. Why don't we get into some happenings of this week? Hayden, what do you want to start with?
Start with hockey.
Start with hockey? Hey. So for those who don't follow hockey or, have been living under a rock, the Stanley Cup Finals start tonight. We get the Tampa Bay Lightning facing off against the Colorado Avalanche. Lightning going for a three-peat here. Avalanche trying to win one for the first time since 2001.
Yeah.
I'll kick it over to Shane. He's our hockey man.
Yeah, so Lightning, they've been killing it in the playoffs for the past 3 years. Not a surprise to see him in the Eastern Conference Final again. Steven Stamkos looked phenomenal in Game 6, scored 2 goals to help get the Tampa Bay Lightning past the Rangers. The New York Rangers just looked tired in that series. Andrei Vasilevsky just showed why he's still the best goalie in the league, even though Igor had a fantastic regular season. Vasi is still clutch as ever in the playoffs. And Colorado, they've looked like the best team in the playoffs after just sweeping 2 opponents. They've just looked dominant. Cale Makar looks like the best defenseman in the playoffs. Nathan McKinnon, it's great to see him here because he's been one of the best players in the league for the past 5 years. Love to see him in the Stanley Cup final. So this should be a very exciting matchup. And Colorado was the favorite in the West going in. At the beginning of the season, they were the favorite to win the cup. So it's really not the most surprising matchup, but a great matchup nonetheless.
Oh, for sure.
So some key,
sorry.
yeah.
Go.
So some key injuries, though. Braden Point, he got injured in Game 7 of the first round against Toronto.
I saw that he could be cleared for tonight.
It looks like he's going to play tonight.
Yeah.
So Tampa getting their all-around best player, best forward, will be a huge addition. And on the other end, the Colorado Avalanche, it doesn't look like they're getting Nazem Kadri. I don't have a clear timetable if they'll get him back, but that is going to be a huge loss for Colorado if they don't have their second line center who was over a point per game this season. So that will be a tricky matchup. And looking into this goaltending, Tampa by far has the better goaltending. Kemper's been injury prone and he's a decent goalie. But, of course, no one's going to beat the caliber that Vasilevsky is. He's the best goalie in the league. Tampa has that advantage. On defense, it's pretty close. But I love the high-end talent that Colorado has. Their defensive core is a bit more flashy. They're a bit younger. They can move the puck better. And, my God, I've loved watching Cale Makar all season. And then forwards, it's pretty close. But since Kadri's out, I would give Tampa the slight edge on forwards because of that Kadri injury Colorado has. But overall, I think it's a big debate versus what I think will happen and what I want to happen. What I want to happen is to see Colorado win it. I kind of want to see Nathan McKinnon have a cup. He deserves it. Cale Makar just beginning his legacy in the NHL in his 3rd season. I want to see Colorado do this in 7, but this is the defending Stanley Cup champs. There's a reason why they're here. There's a reason why they lost their best player, yet they are still in the finals. And then a few years ago, they lost Stamkos and they still won the Stanley Cup. So I think Tampa's I just can't see Tampa not winning this. Yeah, they have Andrei Vasilevsky, the most clutch goalie these past 3 years. I just can't see them being beat. So I think this is going to be a 3-peat in a 7-game series for Tampa Bay Lightning. So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I've been saying they're going to be 3-peating this entire time. You all called me crazy. Jeremy said she'll never talk about hockey again. And, that's
he's also the guy who picked.
I don't know if you said that. I don't know if you said that.
I've been saying that for a while now. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. I said they were going to meet the Flames and they were going to 3-peat.
Right.
So I got the Flames bit wrong, but
It's true. Well, here's what we're seeing here. Shane, excellent points here. It was very good. You have what I look at here is I look at the biggest weakness of both teams, right? The Lightning's biggest weakness, there's not a lot there.
What is their weakness?
There's not a lot there.
Yeah.
I can't really think of one.
I'm still waiting to find one.
Right. I mean, you don't really have that many weaknesses when you are threatening to 3-peat. You haven't you have an insane defensive core led by Hedman. You've got all that depth in the forward core. You got Stamkos, you got Kucherov, you got Braden Point. You have all these guys, and that's not even mentioning some of the depth pieces that they have. Uh, it's they're very talented, and I haven't even gotten to Andrei Vasilevsky, who you said the best goalie in the league. I will go a step further and call him the best goalie in the world.
I mean,
good distinction, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Important.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you're the best goalie in the NHL, you're the best goalie in the world. Yeah.
I don't know. There's some kid in the Pee Wee League, and let me tell you.
Dude, I don't know. Have you seen Hayden in front of the net?
You haven't. So can you at least say that?
Andrei Vasilevsky better look out.
You better. I mean, they always say goalies take longer to develop. So I got my time to, sharpen my skills.
It's true.
In the net.
Yeah.
No 3-pointers on me. Let me tell you.
No, but Andrei Vasilevsky, obviously. But then you look over at Colorado. Similarly, Tampa is a little hurt. They're not 100% healthy, but you can't expect a team to be 100% healthy when they get to the cup.
All those guys are battling injuries right now.
If I had to point to something, it'd be that. Colorado, they had so much time off, and you don't know how that's going to affect a team. That's either going to put them in a really good spot, or they're going to come out sluggish. And again, you don't know.
Yeah.
You have to just wait and see how that affects them.
It almost bit Tampa last series. They had a huge break after sweeping Florida, and they looked sluggish game one. They lost that in Madison Square Garden. They were down 2-0 in the series, and then they were actually down 2-0 in game 3 in the second period. But yet they found a way to come back and win 4 straight.
Right, and that's what we were talking about last show. We talked about Lightning just took all the momentum there, and we were saying that the Rangers need to come out and show something game 4, and they didn't, and like you said, they were very tired the entire series. It was very obvious they couldn't get puck penetration down low. It just wasn't good. The only time they had anything going was on the power play, and when you play a clean game, then you're pretty much screwed.
It's just funny that the team that has made the playoffs and made all these deep runs are playing 20 extra games every season is the team that looked less tired.
Well, they're used to it,
Yeah.
And it's a testament to their conditioning. It's a testament to their depth, really. Like, you can't do that without the depth that the Lightning have.
And I think John Cooper, the head coach, should get more credit for what he's done with this team. He always finds a way to get these guys going, and he makes the lineup changes necessary when the team's not rolling well.
Right. Yeah. But back to Colorado real quick. Their weakness, aside from injuries, which you can't really control, is the goaltending situation. And this has been something that they've talked about for years in Colorado. They've always been criticized for they just need a goaltender since they got their pieces, since they've been on this run. You had Grubauer last year who, won, I believe he won the Vezina.
He was a finalist. Fleury won it.
But he's fine. And then now you got Darcy Kemper and you got Francois. I don't know his first name.
Yeah, Pavel Francois. Yeah.
You got Francois, and that's just one thing that you look at in that team, and you say, that's the part that's going to come and bite them. And I know people have been saying that these entire playoffs, right? That's what people have been talking about this whole time. Like, heading into the playoffs, they're saying, if Colorado loses, it's going to be because of the goaltending. It's going to be because of the goaltending, And they've been able to, escape even without the best goaltending this playoffs, Playing the Oilers, you swept them, but there were games where you gave up 6-7 goals, and that's generally not going to win you games. That's definitely not going to win you games against Tampa. And having one of their best players injured heading into the series is also not going to help. So for all these reasons, I've got Tampa winning this series. Colorado, I think it'd be cool to see him win, but Tampa's gonna three-peat. I have it in 6 games, 7 if shoot, I forgot his name. If the defenseman comes back, or the guy in Colorado,
Nazem Kadri.
Kadri, yeah. If he comes back, I think he can buy him an extra game maybe. But I think this goes 6, and I think the Lightning take it in 6. Yeah, Colorado does have home ice, so that's something to think about. Although I don't think Colorado's ice is as big of an advantage as some other places.
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, New York in particular, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I may be wrong. I might be misreading some things. But is Colorado's goaltending even healthy?
He was hurt. I don't
he
know.
was hurt.
Darcy's listed as likely, and not like.
Yeah. So he got hurt. I think in the middle or at the end of the Oilers series.
He got injured in the Oilers series.
So
how good is the other guy?
He's very decent.
Okay, so he's like the type where he's not going to lose you a game, but he's not going to win you one either.
Yeah, it's just like he can be trusted to be a competent goaltender.
Yeah, he's not going to lose you a game, but he's not going to win you one either.
Yeah.
Okay.
He'll make the saves he needs to, but don't expect him to steal you one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that just, that's my answer right there.
Yeah.
So who are your guys Conn Smythe or playoff MVP
right now? Conn Smythe trophy winner.
Conn Smythe.
My Conn Smythe trophy winner. Yeah. This time from the Tampa Bay Lightning, obviously. We're gonna give it to Braden Point. He's gonna come out. He's healthy, right?
Oh, wait.
I thought we okay.
Playoff MVP.
I thought it was Stanley Cup.
No, that's not a different award, Jeremy. That's the Jimmy Bobby award.
It's the Ricky Bobby award.
No, that's the NASCAR driver.
Is Conn Smythe not the?
It's playoff MVP.
Oh, I thought it was.
It's for all of playoffs, not just the.
Oh,
final.
Okay. Well, in that case, you got to give it to Steven Stamkos. I mean, there wasn't really one guy on Tampa that really stood out.
Yeah.
You know.
I think there's a couple different people you can give it to.
Yeah, I would say if you're gonna give it from a guy from Tampa, I would say Andre Vasilevsky again.
That's who I was gonna give it to.
So solid. Again, he has, he
doesn't go to goalies that often.
He's got but it's Andre Vasilevsky. Andre Vasilevsky won it last year.
You said it best. He's the best.
He's got that low goals against average and the low 2s, and then he's got that 927 save percentage that is your bar for elite goaltending in the playoffs.
Right. No. I'm not arguing that he deserves it. I'm just saying if there's not one person that stands out, it goes to the captain a lot of times. Yeah.
Well, and then a lot of times I've noticed they give it to the legacy pick because Ovechkin, I love Ovechkin. He was not the Conn Smythe trophy winner.
No, it was
Kuznetsov.
Yeah, it was Kuznetsov. It was definitely Kuznetsov that year.
And then when Sidney Crosby won it, both times I thought it should have gone to someone else. Malkin had more points, more goals, and a better plus minus in the playoffs, and they gave it to Crosby.
Fake statistics, honestly.
Yeah, so it's just this year I've respected it a bit more just because Vasilevsky definitely deserved it last year, but Kucherov or Braden Point could have easily won it also since they had a terrific playoffs. But I would say if it's Tampa, Vasilevsky. If it's Colorado, Cale Makar deserves it.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's a completely different story if it goes to Tampa. If it goes to Colorado, because there is a clear, this is the guy you give it to. Yeah.
Unless Nathan McKinnon just destroys Tampa this series, then it's Cale Makar.
Cale Makar has a 1.57 points per game in these playoffs.
For a defenseman.
Yeah, that's insane.
He's already getting compared to the greatest of all time. He's getting the Bobby Orr comparison. He's getting the Paul Coffey comparison. Top 5 defenseman, the best defenseman in NHL history.
Mm-hmm.
Like Gretzky says he looks like one of the best defensemen in NHL history. And when the great one calls you one of the best, that is something to hang your hat on.
Absolutely. He just needs to, stay
Healthy.
similar to this level, stay healthy, stay playing at this level for a little, I don't know, 5 more years, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
He's still pretty young. So, I think this will be a good series. I'm just worried about Colorado's goaltending.
What time does the game start tonight?
8 o'clock.
Okay, I can probably watch that.
I have a question.
I have an answer.
You don't have an answer. It's a hockey question.
Okay, I can answer that.
Okay, Shane, let him answer this question. Has there ever been a Conn Smythe trophy winner from the losing team?
Yes. That's obvious. Come on.
Yeah. It was actually. Guess the team he was playing on.
The Ducks, baby.
The Ducks, yeah.
Quack.
What's his name? It's
I know this stuff.
It's a goalie. It was like a French Canadian goalie. It was like Giguère or something like that.
Goalie playoff MVP.
Ducks.
Losing.
Yeah. Jean-Sébastien Giguère.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Back in 2003.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Yeah, so and I think there was someone else, but he's the most recent one that I can recall. And so the way
because honestly, if this
there's 5.
If this series goes 7, and Colorado loses, and Cale Makar goes off in this series, I wouldn't be shocked if he still wins it.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
Do we want to hear the other ones?
Yeah, I'm curious to hear the other ones.
All right, so in 1987, you had another goalie of the Philadelphia Flyers, Ron Hextall.
Oh, shoot.
That was against the Oilers, yeah.
And then, back in 1976, you had another Flyer, a right winger, Reggie Leach. And then back in 1968, you had Glenn Hall, the St. Louis Blues, another goalie. And then the second person to ever win it was also a goalie, Roger Crozier of the Detroit Red Wings.
I'm seeing a trend here.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're gonna win it, you got to be a goalie.
Yeah.
And lose.
That's fair. No, that's fair.
And so the way playoff voting works is that you nominate 3 people, and it's like a point system. It's like first place is like 5 points, second place 3 points, yada yada. I'm curious to see if anyone puts Connor McDavid as the 3rd place on their ballots, or someone just decides to throw in Jake Ottinger.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I played an incredible game, and I was just thinking, Jake Ottinger better. That's just what I was thinking. I was like, God, this man has ruined goaltending for me. It's a shame.
It's a shame.
He's ruined you for only.
Shame.
It's a shame. Yeah.
What a shame. The stream died for a second. So did my internet.
Yeah, I saw that. It's back now.
It's back.
Yeah.
Jake Ottinger was really good. This is what I missed. Right?
Yeah.
I
was just gonna say 4 of the 17 goalies that have won the award won it when they lost. So, if you want to win it, you got to be a center or a goalie, is what I've learned from this Wikipedia page.
Yeah. I'm assuming there's very few defensemen on there.
11.
Oh, Duncan Keith won it.
Did he?
And Victor Hedman. Those are the 2 at the top of my head.
Those
I can
are
think
the 2
of.
most recent ones.
Bobby Orr probably
that's
has
what I was
one.
thinking. I'm sure Bobby Orr won one.
Back in 2007, Scott Niedermayer.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's that's
of
a guy.
Of the Ducks.
Yeah.
Might have point out. Nicholas Lidstrom.
Oh,
in
yeah.
2002. Scott Stevens, Brian Leach, Al McInnes. And the Wikipedia page died on me. Oh, there we go. Bobby Orr. Yes,
Yep,
he has
there
won
it
one.
is.
That was
He's probably the earliest one.
He was the second one actually. The year before went to Serhii Savard or Savard. I don't know how you say his name. And then he won it again in '72. Congrats, Bobby Orr. You won it twice.
Of course,
Yeah.
you did.
So going back to goaltending, I heard some rumors that John Gibson is open to being traded. As Ducks fans, what's your take on that? How would you feel about John Gibson being traded?
If you don't want to play for my franchise, get out. I don't want you. You know, the Ducks is my home.
Let me tell you about good old Johnny Gibson, all right?
He sucks!
Let me tell you a little bit about him, right? Man, he's just okay. He's very good at hockey for the first half of the season. And then he just looks around at the team and he's like, guys, good luck. I'm done. That's what he does. It's a known fact. You know?
Listen. Let me tell you something, Jeremy. All right.
What are you gonna tell me about? You gonna tell me about good old Johnny Gibson?
Listen, Johnny Gibson. You know, if he doesn't want to play for my team, you know, he's gonna cash his checks and just mentally be gone. You know, the game's kind of on him at the end of the day. You know. He's got to deny the goals, and that's how the other team wins, is by scoring goals, you know?
Yeah, no, you can't win if you don't score. That's
exactly. And so, the fact that he keeps allowing goals, and, that might be why the Ducks are losing. Maybe they're better off without him. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm just saying, I demand perfection. I do not want my goalie to allow a single goal.
Let me tell you. I think we should package John Gibson and Miguel Andujar for... for Andre Vasilevsky. Let me tell you, I think they take that trade in a heartbeat.
I tend to agree. When you can have like two sports for the price of one sport, easy wins. You got to do it. Maybe they even throw in
Clint
a little
Frazier?
bit of that Yusuf Nurkic in there.
Throw in Clint Frazier too. If you gotta, That's my impression of a New York sports talk show host. If he was from Anaheim, but still talked in like a really bad Northeast U.S. accent.
So I think you could get a pretty good haul for John Gibson.
You absolutely could, but the Ducks, I think they're in a point where they want to start winning in the next couple years, right? Yeah. They sold a lot at the deadline, but they've got a good couple of pieces that are currently in their system.
Even on their current roster.
In their current roster. And I don't know what his contract situation is, but I could see this as a situation that you're seeing in a lot of NFL training camps right now, where these players are holding out. That's the word. They're holding out for a better contract, a bigger contract, a new payday. I don't know what John Gibson's situation is like, but I could see that being a similar kind of thing.
It's more like he was a really good young goaltender for them. He's had a few phenomenal seasons. He hasn't really lived up to his younger years, and maybe it's time for him to move on to a team where they have a better chance at contending instead of waiting for another few years before the Ducks are legit contenders again.
Well, I mean, that's what's best for John Gibson.
It's not what's best for the Ducks.
That's not what's best for the Ducks.
But if the Ducks could get a haul for John Gibson.
I mean, unless you're getting... Because they don't... I mean, the Ducks far better than we do, I'm assuming. Do they have a goalie prospect? Okay,
yeah, you have he's a former third-round pick. His name's like Dostal. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I believe he's a Finnish goalie. Yeah, Lucas Dostal. He put up pretty good numbers in the Finnish hockey league. He looks like if he's going to be the heir apparent to John Gibson, that's probably what it looks like right now. I don't know what his upside is. I just know that he's your best prospect in the system right now. And then again, you could always find one later in the draft. And I just think Edmonton would probably be most likely destination just because they are desperate for a number one goalie. I could see Edmonton giving up a haul for him. And they have a prospect, Philip Broberg, maybe because that's the only area where Anaheim's a bit lacking in the prospect pool. Like their forward prospect pool is stacked. You're going to have Zegras, you're going to have Troy Terry, you have Mason McTavish next year. You're fine on forwards. You're a bit weak on defense. So I think
they have a good defenseman coming up.
What's his name?
I lost it. Give me a second.
Yeah, I know you guys have Drysdale. He's really good.
Olin Zellweger.
He's
18. Well, I found a list, because I'm just trying to find top lists by positions. And I mean, he's the 24th best prospect in hockey, according to Craig Button. No, you don't trust that guy?
He's had some pretty.
I mean, you're gonna miss. You're gonna miss sometimes.
Yeah.
He's just a button pusher.
You got that.
Yeah.
Here. Olin. He's not in the NHL's version.
Where's Anaheim picking this year in the draft? Because I know there's this.
Picks.
Because if they're in the top 10, if they're number 4, there's this Simon Nemec guy. He's a Slovakian defenseman. He looks pretty good. Sorry. That's like the top defensive prospect in this year's draft that I can think of. So like maybe if you could trade up to that level. I also yeah. But who else needs a goalie?
The Colorado Avalanche.
Colorado. That's a good one. Because if they don't want to re-sign Darcy Kemper,
although
that's a good one.
I looked up his contract details. He is making $6.4 million per year for the next 5 years.
Well, I was thinking Samuel Girard. He got injured, but he's making around like $5 million. So I was thinking, and he's a young defenseman. So I would think you could package him with John Gibson. Like that could be a potential trade.
It's just not a cheap contract, and I know that Colorado needs to re-sign McKinnon and Makar.
Makar's already resigned.
They need to re-sign McKinnon, and then you need to have enough money left over to.
McKinnon's been open about taking a team-friendly deal.
It might be a team-friendly deal, but it's still going to be like $7 million as opposed to $10 million.
Yeah. But the thing about John Gibson that makes him valuable, he already has a set contract with term.
Yeah, he's got 5 years. He's got 5 years left.
Yeah. So there's no uncertainty there. So you know how much you can allocate for him. So I think Samuel Girard, I don't know his contract, but it's like 5 point something. So like you just have to find a way to squeeze in like $1 million or close to $2 million a season, and you can fit that under. Colorado would be a good fit for him.
Just Colorado, the thing here is, it might be a good fit for him in Colorado, but the question is whether or not the Ducks are going to get enough. Just because I don't know about Colorado's player pool, but I don't think it's that deep. That they'd be willing to trade their prospect pool.
Well, I think if you offer this year's first-round pick, maybe throw in a second and Samuel Girard, that's a pretty good haul, in my opinion. Or whatever prospect they have lying around in their system is pretty good.
I don't trust your opinion.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you said you'd trade like the 4th overall pick for some dude. I forget who it is, but
it was Kevin Fiala.
But it definitely wasn't worth it. So.
I see a lot of teams who are, it's just like, would you rather pick a guy, you have no idea what his ceiling is. He could be a bust, he could be a really good player. But he won't be ready to play in the NHL for 2-3 seasons.
We've talked about this.
Yeah.
We have.
I don't think on the show right now though.
Okay. I think you need to trade him and a second rounder for that top 3, top 5 pick.
Yeah, and that's fair. I just don't know how other people are looking at Kevin Fiala. But I've heard that they're like Kevin Fiala is rumored to go for Ottawa Senators have the 7th overall pick. That's the most likely scenario, in my opinion, because they're looking for that like established NHL player who's already proven, or in your opinion, somewhat proven already.
I think he's absolutely proven. I think that top 5 pick is too valuable just to give up 1 for that guy.
7th overall? It's not top 5.
You're pushing it.
Yeah.
But
because once I heard New Jersey had the 2nd overall pick, I'm like, all right, I wouldn't trade that. You're getting a really good prospect at 2nd overall.
It's pushing it. I think outside the top 10, definitely. 5 to 10 is 6 to 10 is. It depends how high they are on Fiala.
Yeah,
I still might throw in like a.
Looking at the prospect pool, there's definitely I've done some research in the draft already. There's definitely like a drop off in talent after like 4 or 5. Like the prospects are like not of the same caliber. I mean, I could go over like my whole like I've already done research on the NHL draft. I could already go into like my prospects already, but maybe we should save that for another show.
Yeah, we'll save that for another episode.
When is the draft?
Yeah, when is
July? It's like 1st, 2nd week of July.
Oh, we have 2 drafts at like the same time.
Yeah,
that's gonna be great. I'm so excited. So not Jeremy, Shane.
Yeah.
So are you familiar with SB Nation? How they have a bunch of different blogs.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of Olin Zellweger because the Wild blog did like a whole deep dive on him and how they were like, man, it would be really cool if the Wild drafted this guy like late.
What draft was he?
Last year's 2021.
Oh, we got Carson Lambos. He's a stud. And then we also got Ryan O'Rourke. Like that was a good draft.
I'm saying before he was considered the 47th and the 37th best like prospect in the draft. So like a late 1st round guy or a late 1st, early 2nd round talent, and I guess maybe he climbed a bit. I don't know. I'm just I've heard he's good. He's from Canada. You like Canadians?
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Anaheim's prospect pool. So that was I just didn't know who was good off the top of my head. And then, because I just didn't know, like, if they had, like, a stud defenseman prospect.
I mean, he had, like, limited playing time for a lot of his teams recently, like in that WHL and stuff. But he did pretty good there. Yeah. Put up 78. This is TP. What's that? TP total points?
Sure, probably.
So he had 78 points in 55 games in WHL.
Solid.
At 17, 18.
Yeah, well, that's that entire league is filled with 17, 18, 19-year-olds.
Yeah. I mean, he's like on the younger side of it, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it's pretty good production. Yeah. That's something. Again,
as a defenseman, that's pretty good. You know?
with prospects, and you just never know what you're gonna get until it's like good development so far.
Yeah. I don't know. What do I know? I'm just
the WHL is like a high scoring league among your peers, so it's just I'm like it's good to see that though. Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's really good numbers to see though. It's just you never know until they get to the professional level where they're playing against their peers or grown men instead of just people their age.
His posture is perfect, though, Shane. His posture. Let me tell you about his posture.
Dude, are you telling me he's got good posture?
He's got good posture. He's got good posture.
Count me in.
He's in. He's the Kill McCaw who?
Gretzky who?
It's all about Olin Zellweger, let me tell you. Like, in, 3 years, this guy's gonna be, an all-star or something. Just sneak in. Be, barely an all-star, but he's gonna get in, and I'm gonna, rub it. I'm gonna, take all the credit for that. I'll be like, Shane, I told you so.
Oh, so going back to the playoffs, how do you feel about people calling Tampa a dynasty? Are they a dynasty?
I've been calling them a dynasty for the last year.
Why wouldn't they be a dynasty? They were a dynasty before this year. If you repeat, you're a dynasty. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's in modern sports. If you're repeating, like,
I think he's absolutely right, and that is when you are a confirmed dynasty. You could even make the argument that a team that consistently makes it to the championship round or even to the finals and loses. Yeah. Like, you could make the argument that the Chiefs are a dynasty right now. They've only won one, but you can make the argument that they're a dynasty.
The Dodgers are a dynasty. Like,
you know, it's one of those things. Yes, Tampa is a certified dynasty. If you win 2 in a row or you win 2 in a very, very short period of time without much roster turnover, you are absolutely a dynasty.
Yeah, I think that last bit's kind of crucial too. Like the roster turnover.
Yeah, the roster turnover is you have to have the same core group. Yeah. But yeah, they're absolutely a dynasty.
So you said consecutive finals appearances makes you a dynasty?
No.
No.
All right.
No. Consecutive finals wins makes you a dynasty.
So that's just a championship.
No, that's consecutive championships.
Like if you're making the playoffs for a while, right? You're making the playoffs for a while, and then you string together 3-4 years where you're either in the finals or it's the championship round, right? Before the finals.
Yeah.
So like if you're for 4 or 5 years, you're in that and it's close every single time. Like, it's game 6 or 7 when you lose in the championship round, or you're making a solid attempt in the finals every year. Like, yeah, you're a dynasty. Like, especially if you win 2 in a row, or if you win 2 in 3, or even 2 in 4, I think you're a dynasty.
Yeah. And the crucial part, as Hayden was saying, the crucial part is you don't have massive roster turnover. The crucial part is you have the same core group of guys. You can have rotating pieces around them, but you have the same core kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you guys, so it just seems like all of the mainstream hockey commentators have a higher definition of dynasty.
Are they not calling it a dynasty?
Well, they're just now saying, "Oh, are they a dynasty now? If they win 3, are they a dynasty?"
I mean, I think in most sports, right, you're gonna have 2 dynasties at a time.
Because I hesitate to call the Los Angeles Kings a dynasty.
I don't think you can have more than 1 dynasty at a time.
I think you can.
I don't.
Because what do you say the Astros are a dynasty? Lack of roster turnover. They are in the World Series. They've won a ring. In the past 5 years, they've made the World Series 2-3 times.
Honestly, I don't know if I'd call them a dynasty. I don't know if I'd call the Dodgers a dynasty either.
Okay.
Well, the definition was what? 2 championships in a short period of time?
My definition is 2 championships in a relatively low amount of time.
It's just, I don't like the LA Kings being a dynasty. It's just...
There's obviously other stuff that has to go with it. Like,
because they were just they were an 8th seed. They won the cup, which is a huge accomplishment.
It depends on how dominant. I think
they
had the dominance.
Dominant.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay. Because after I can't remember, after they won the Stanley Cup, they didn't make the playoffs. So it's just they were not a dominant regular season team. They were maybe a good regular season team twice, but they had 2 cups just because that underdog mentality when they got the first cup, and then they were a middle seed and they won the cup again.
Yeah.
Right.
They were never a great playoff team. I mean, a great regular season team. So they weren't really dominant in that aspect.
Right. When I think of a dynasty, I think of a team that you're all right, they're guaranteed to go at least to the conference finals. You look at that team and you're yeah, they'll probably win.
Yeah.
They're dominating. They're dominating multiple years in a row. They don't have, and they're cruising. It's just.
Would you say the Dodgers aren't like that?
So here's the thing: it's hard to define a dynasty in a way that makes sense. I see.
Yeah, I think baseball is different though.
Baseball is completely different than other sports. When you look at hockey, hockey is a sport that I'm much faster to call a team a dynasty because of how parodied the sport is, because of how crazy the playoffs can be. Like when you watch the NHL playoffs, you really have no idea what's going to happen in most years. Like almost anything could happen. When you watch baseball, it's the same deal, but I don't know what it is about baseball. It's different. I'm a lot more hesitant to call a team in baseball a dynasty than I am in really most other sports.
Fair.
Yeah, for me, I would say the only dynasties in recent memory for hockey, I would say Tampa Bay is a dynasty right now just because how long they've been good. Like even before they started winning cups, they were making it to the Eastern Conference Final every season, it seems like.
Yeah.
So I would call them a dynasty, and then I should call the Chicago Blackhawks a dynasty.
What about the Penguins? They won 2 in a row.
How many players is considered a core? Because that team that won in 2009, was a completely different team that won it back to back.
I'm not talking about 2009. I'm talking about when they won back to back. It's going through these examples.
Well, what was the rise and fall of that team? Because I think that also plays a part into it.
Going through these examples, it's a lot harder for me to just look at it.
No, I'll call the Penguins a dynasty. I'm not
going to lie to you. Going through these examples is a lot harder for me to just come up with a set criteria for what makes a team a dynasty and what doesn't. Because I think I would call the Penguins one, but I honestly don't know if I can. I don't know if I would. Honestly.
For me, it's they have the longest active playoff streak, and they have I don't know how long of a time span you're gonna call it, but they have 3 cups and they have the longest active playoff streak. They have those back to back. I'd be willing to call them a dynasty.
The Penguins never seemed unbeatable to me.
Yeah.
Right. The Lightning seem unbeatable to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I hesitated, because I think the fact that I hesitated to call them a dynasty kind of makes them not a dynasty. Right. If you can't say they're a dynasty, like off the top of your head, I don't think you can call them a dynasty.
And it's the same thing in baseball, right? The Dodgers and the Astros, they never seemed unbeatable. Right?
Yeah.
The Patriots,
they have that presence.
They were unbeatable, you know? I mean,
you're
they
like,
weren't
oh
unbeatable,
shit,
but
we're
like
playing
they
the
seemed
Patriots.
unbeatable. It seemed like they were going to win every time, right? And it's that kind of feeling. There's no going through this, like it's hard for me to come up with a criteria for what makes something a dynasty. But you have to have that feeling that these guys are unbeatable. And you get that very, very rarely, you know? You get that with the Warriors, right? You get that with the Patriots, and I get that with the Lightning. And I think those are the 3 true dynasties that I've seen in sports. You can make an argument for the Astros. That's a solid argument. You can make an argument for the Penguins. I don't remember the Blackhawks well enough. That was like 10 years ago.
Oh God. I remember that team so well. They eliminated the Wild on 2 of their playoff runs, so I have a hatred for them. So obviously,
right. My point is, you can make an argument for a lot of these teams, but it's hard to say this is a definitive dynasty. And I think at the Lightning, you can. These guys seem unbeatable.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's a better way to define it, honestly.
I think, I agree with you 100%. It's just the feeling that, oh God, this team, we're facing them. How are we going to win? That feeling, I feel like that's what makes you a dynasty. The Chicago Blackhawks definitely have that. And the fact that I hate the Blackhawks with all my blood, and I admit they're a dynasty, like that goes to show how good they were during that era. And Tampa Bay Lightning are the same.
Yeah. I don't know, Hayden. What do you think?
I don't know either. I mean, I agree. It takes a feeling. I get that feeling with the Dodgers and the Astros. And that's why I think they're both dynasties at the same time, which doesn't make sense, but I don't know. I watch and read a lot of baseball, so I guess that's a different perspective a little bit.
No, that's fair. That's fair. No, everyone's going to have a different definition of when a team becomes a dynasty, right? there's no one set thing that says you do this, you do this, you do this, you're a dynasty,
No,
right?
it's whatever I say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just comes down to a feeling, and whenever the general public gets that, that's when you know for a fact that you are a dynasty. And the fact that there's even a conversation around it probably means that they are.
Yeah.
Right? You have to get to a point to even start having a conversation, right?
And that conversation could have been had a while ago, though.
It could have, but
it should have.
It probably should have. But, the fact that they're even having a conversation probably means something.
Yeah. Well, they're getting the comparable to the Islanders dynasty in the 70s where they won 4 straight. And no team has done that since
It's
that team.
Really hard to win 4 straight championships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just the comparison they're always throwing around.
Yeah. That's fair.
All right, so that was a good hockey discussion. I feel like we should change topics to another sport.
We're already 51 minutes into the show, and we've only talked hockey?
I was a bit surprised how long this hockey section is.
We haven't only talked hockey. We've talked a lot of things. I probably should have changed my background, but
it's some baseball thrown in there.
Of course, because that's all
football thrown in there.
It doesn't have to be one sports segment. We're just having a conversation. But yes, let's move on to the next one. We'll go to the next finals. Yeah.
Yeah.
That works.
Huh?
I said that works.
Okay. The NBA Finals. We are through 5 games. Score is currently 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a little bit of a conversation about the Warriors in the dynasty, but they look like they're gonna. They look insane. We talked about it at the beginning of the playoffs, right? When they came out firing in the first round, we said, "Uh-oh, they're back."
Yeah. The dynasty's back, right?
Right, they're back. They took a couple years off. They're back.
Yeah. Injuries will do that to you.
Yeah. Celtics, they're putting up a real good fight, but nah, they're done.
Yeah.
I was watching. I watched the last 5 minutes of Game 4, as per what you said, and Steph Curry was so clutch in Game 4. I was just like, this man is not fair. He's just automatic at the 3-point line in clutch situations. I'm like, how are you supposed to stop that?
You can't.
Yeah.
You either go out and defend him 40 feet out, and then he dribbles around you and puts up a layup, or you just, play a little off of him and he sinks a 40-foot 3-pointer. You can't do anything about that.
It was just Curry was clutch. Boston was very unclutch. So I've lost hope in that, my prediction so far. I just don't know how you stop this Warriors team after seeing that.
It's very, very hard to stop this team. It's almost impossible. There's a way to do it, obviously, but God.
In a 7-game series, though.
It's so hard to do it. And there's a reason they've been this good for this long.
Sure.
But Game 6 back in Boston. Game 6 back in Boston. I'm curious if you think Boston has enough juice to win another game. I know we all just said that the Warriors are going to win this series, but I'm curious if you think that the Celtics have enough juice to win another game.
Send it to 7. Just do it for the storylines. You have all the TVs on for Game 7.
What I want to happen is to have Boston come back and win it, because that was my prediction from the start. But I just don't know how you stop Steph Curry and the rest of the Warriors.
Right, in a night like Game 5, Steph Curry had 15 points and 0 threes. And they still lost. Pretty convincingly, actually. It wasn't really a close game.
Klay Thompson had a good game, right?
Klay Thompson had a good game. The real star was Andrew Wiggins. He went off. Andrew Wiggins finally is showing that lottery potential that he was drafted for. And it's scary. It's scary.
The Warriors found another good player.
They just figured out how to use him. I don't know what it was. He's been in the league for like 7 years now. I don't like it. It's very simple.
Who doesn't like it? That's it.
It's unfair.
They're a dynasty.
They are.
So what would another dynasty be for the NBA? It would be
The Chicago Bulls in the 90s.
Yeah, that's kind of the obvious one. But like recently though.
Recently?
Yeah.
You could make an argument that LeBron as a person was a dynasty.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, LeBron won a lot, but he just went from team to team winning stuff.
Yeah. You could make an argument that LeBron as a person was a dynasty, but aside from the Warriors, no.
But I feel like the NBA is the only sport where that you can make that argument.
It is the only sport where you can make that argument. Yeah, he went to Cleveland to Miami to Cleveland to the Lakers, and he only missed like 1 or 2 finals in that entire stretch. So, you could make an argument that LeBron himself was a dynasty. Yeah. You could probably make a pretty good one, but I'm not going to do that.
I think it might be a winning argument.
It might be, honestly. You could pretty easily convince me of it. But
have we had the debate whether he's the greatest of all time or
he's not?
All right, because I don't know enough to have an opinion on it, to be honest with you guys.
It's one of those things that you could make an argument because it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
But Jordan was Jordan. And you can't have that.
So yeah, you're more on Jordan was the greatest of all time?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I haven't looked enough into it to get a good opinion on it, but it just seems like Jordan also had a better team, right?
It's I don't know, it's hard to compare.
Yeah.
It's super hard to compare, honestly. Because you could say that LeBron's had the better teams, you could say that Jordan's had the better teams. It really is an argument. LeBron went and made one of the first real super teams down in Miami. And then he went up to Cleveland, played with Kyrie and Kevin Love, and then he went to LA and he played with Anthony Davis. He's played with some really good players, but so did Jordan. He played with Pippen. He played with God, I'm so bad at remembering names. Big dude, like white hair, whatever. He's played with some really good people too. I'm sorry, I forgot names.
It's all good.
But he played with some very, very good people, and you can make the argument either way. The Dennis Rodman, that's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, I just don't know if, again, the game was totally different. It was a lot more physical, and LeBron definitely would not play as well if he played in the 90s because it's a lot more of a physical game. And then LeBron
is 6'9", 270, man. I don't know if it's hard to out physical that man.
Yeah. But it's just like there's so many like flopping and he gets like called out all the time for like faking shit.
He's just playing the game the way the game is played.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how he would transition if he played in that era. But that's again hypotheticals. You can't really
it's super hard to compare because they're played very differently, but it's an argument. It's an argument. There's a reason, there's a reason there's an argument.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm of the position where you can't compare eras. Like you said, I just think the game's too different where you really can't compare the two. I would say he was the best in this era and then he's the best in this era.
Right. And you can do that without arguing.
Yeah.
But then when you say, well, what if you take the best of both of these eras and you say, oh, who was better between them? And then you're back in the same spot.
Yeah.
So it's tough. The future's going to decide. People are always going to be partial to whoever their generation's GOAT was.
Mm-hmm.
So
this is why I think we should have a caveman decide.
Oh, a caveman.
Yeah.
We go back in time and then we just hold up 2 pictures and whatever which one he goes toward.
Just don't let him choose Blark. That guy sucks.
Paul Blart?
No, Blark.
Oh.
First, the guy who invented basketball.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said Blart, the mall cop.
No.
Okay.
He could be. Maybe the caveman would pick him. These are all options.
These are all options. We have 4 pictures.
He was like, this guy's really well fed. He must be good.
No, it's only face shots. It's like a mug shot type thing. It's just only the face. Nothing more.
Yeah.
All right,
Warriors in 7.
Is that pretty much it for the
Warriors
NBA news?
Warriors in 7. Yeah, there wasn't much.
I'm gonna hold on hope. I'm gonna stay loyal to the
there was a trade.
Celtics. Celtics in 7.
No, you're wrong.
The NBA draft is coming up. The Oklahoma City Thunder made a trade. They traded the 30th pick for JaMychal Green, along with 2 seconds. So, could be something. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But it could be something.
Picks don't matter. Just be good.
You're right. I'll go tell them that.
Yeah.
Just find good talent.
Yeah.
Don't fuck it up. It's not that hard.
Just keep trading your picks. You don't need a farm system if you just trade away all your picks for good players.
Yeah, you should be a GM.
Yeah. I am.
Be the LA Rams or the Vegas Golden Knights. Just trade away all your picks and prospects for good players now.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, but you have no farm. But I get new picks every single year.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who needs a farm when you just trade your entire draft class for the second best player?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who needs a farm when you can just buy the harvest?
True.
Oh, I get it. Anyways, a little bit ago, Jeremy mentioned this basketball player, Dennis Rodman, right? And now there's a player who, as a teammate, is being considered or compared to Dennis Rodman. I don't know if you guys heard. But, at the end of last show's baseball segment, I was like, oh, there was this Marlins team meeting. Nothing's going to come out of it. The sun is, directly in my eye right now. It's amazing.
It looks good. It looks good.
It looks good. I'm just going to back up a little bit. All right, there we go. So, I was like, nothing's going to come out of it. It's just, it's non-news, right? Well, boy, was I wrong. Teammates of Jazz Chisholm, not very big fans of him.
They don't like Jazz?
They hate Jazz.
Oh, no.
So much that there was a 90-minute team meeting on a game day about it. And they didn't talk about the record at all. They didn't talk about their performances. It was all just about Jazz as a teammate.
Do they got to get rid of the cancer?
Well, no. Jazz Chisholm is their best player.
Jazz Chisholm is like the electric young star of the, Miami Marlins.
He's their best position player by far.
Yeah.
But they can't stand him.
His teammates can't.
Apparently.
I love Jazz.
Oh, yeah. No, I think the general public, that isn't, like the old heads who are like,
Yeah.
Baseball can't be fun. Those people don't like Jazz, but everyone else loves Jazz. He's great.
He wanted to get an ice cream cone glove. But the MLB wouldn't let him. So.
How dare they?
Yeah, no, Jazz Chisholm is really fun. It's a shame. Because he's a good player. And I talked to a Marlins fan about it. And I'm trying to look up what he said. He's just inconsistent. And he's got a big ego. And that it can run people the wrong way based off what he's read.
He is inconsistent. But he's hot right now.
He is hot right now. I wonder why, when your teammates are like, we don't like the way you're doing things. We don't like how you are.
Spite is a very powerful motivator.
Yeah, it is. And it's working really well for Jazz. One of the things that I've read is that he's a big napper.
A what?
Like he naps a lot.
Oh,
Pre-game nap.
And that might rub some people the wrong way.
Isn't that like what Nelson Cruz does, though?
Yes, it is what Nelson Cruz does.
But there's a lot of professional athletes who nap before games.
Yeah. No,
that's not a unusual thing.
This is also, I think it's important to remember that the CEO of the Marlins for a little while recently was this guy named Derek Jeter. And now I don't know if you know what
This
team,
guy named Derek Jeter.
I don't know if you remember what team Derek Jeter played for. The New York Yankees, for those of you who don't remember, are very famous for like their organizational rules. You know,
Yeah, their beard policy.
Their beard policy is the most notable. But like, there's the Yankee way, and there's also the Marlins way, and you know, some of those like organizational rules that don't really matter to some people. You know, maybe the rumor is that a veteran was like, you know, Jazz isn't doing the things the Marlin way a lot of the times, and so it's just
the Marlins aren't good enough to have a Marlin way. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, like some of it's like, you know, like, oh, you can't have your hair a certain length, you know, like, well, that kind of stuff. It's stupid. I don't know. I'm just some dumb guy who writes and talks about baseball, not plays baseball or runs baseball. So I don't know, but it's just I don't know. I think it's really interesting. I don't know. I don't know how to wrap this up.
It's just outdated. It's just outdated old school stuff, honestly. It doesn't make that big of a difference.
I think
we've had the same conversation multiple times centering around multiple people, you know? And it's just generations are going to have generational, you know, this is how things are supposed to be. And that's winning cures all.
Yeah, I was about to say they're you know 4th place in the division right now. I think, you know, if they were doing better, this might not be an issue, but yeah. That Marlins team. Are you surprised? Are you surprised they're in 4th, Jeremy?
I am. Yeah, I think they should be in 3rd.
Jeremy, I mean Shane, do you think they should be in 4th?
What division are they in?
They're in the NL East. They're in the same division as the New York Mets, the Braves, the Phillies.
No, yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I thought the other teams going in were better. Like definitely the Braves and the Mets, they seemed better going into the season, so that doesn't really surprise me where they are.
I agree. Braves and Mets. I just don't love the Phillies. The Phillies lost a game yesterday because of their aforementioned shitty ass defense, to put it in scientific terms.
Well, I mean, they're 8-2 in their last 10, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's what happens when you fire your manager. You get a little jolt of energy.
Yeah. It's worked. I mean, they're a game above 500 now. They're only 9 back in the division. But I think they'd be a bit closer, at least, in the first, like in the second, third place rankings if the Braves haven't won the past 13 games. Which is, it's kind of hard to do. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the longest.
The defending champs too.
Yeah.
I mean, Acuna's back.
Acuna back. Yeah.
That definitely helps.
Ozzy Albies got hurt.
Ozzy Albies, yes, he is hurt. I mean.
Oh yeah, the division rival, the Mets, aren't they injured to shit or something?
Yeah, they're injured all hell. They're done. They'll be back, but they're super injured.
I mean,
is Max Scherzer injured? I think I saw that when I was looking at it. I'm like, oh shoot, I recognize that name. That's not good.
Scherzer, DeGrom, Lindor was hurt for a bit. I don't know if he's back now.
I'll tell you who's on the IL. Of notable people, their starting catcher James McCann is out. DeGrom, their swingman Joey Lucchesi has been out all year with Tommy John. Actually, no, wait, no. Sorry, I misread that. I thought it was a 4. Oh no. Yeah, no, he just got Tommy John.
There's always that one team that gets fucked over by injuries.
It's usually the Mets.
It is usually the Mets.
The Mets got a Met.
Yeah.
They'll just get fucked over by some outside source.
I don't know. I'm just looking at this lineup and it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't like this Mets lineup. I'm gonna be honest.
No.
It's gonna happen when everyone's injured.
No, they're
or
healthy.
Before that,
they're only really missing their catcher.
Oh, okay.
But you know, it's Nimmo, Marte, Lindor, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Eduardo Escobar, who just hit for a cycle, by the way. Congrats.
He did.
Snaps for Esky. Mark Canha, Luis Guillorme, and Tomas Nido. He wouldn't really be there if McCann was healthy, but
I don't hate that lineup.
I don't know. It's just something
about it.
I
like the top 5.
I don't know. Luis Guillorme is kind of like the guy who's got all the tools but has never put it together.
Yeah.
Then I'd rather see McNeil. I'd rather see Dom Smith in the lineup over him. Honestly, Dom Smith's really good. Is he really good? I don't know. Let me look. Oh, never mind. Dom Smith's not very good this year.
Yeah.
That's not good. That's really bad. You have a batting average of 186. An on-base percentage of 287. That's not very good. Wow. I don't know. I like the Braves. I think the Braves might pass the Mets.
Yeah, they're going to pass the Mets.
Then it's just I think it kind of the rest of it kind of depends. I think Scherzer is back soon, right?
Right.
He's back soon. He's throwing a simulated game tomorrow. But I think the whole thing kind of relies on DeGrom.
Yeah, the whole thing always was going to rely on the pitching staff. That's the whole thing with the Mets. That's why they were primed to be as good as they were primed to be. It's because, they had two of the top 3, maybe 5, maybe 3 pitchers in the entire league on their roster.
I mean, their pitching staff's still good. I mean, they need an ace, obviously, right now. But, like, Carrasco and Bassett have been good. Tyler McGill and Tywin Walker aren't terrible. I don't know what it is about this Mets team. I just don't like it.
It's just because they're the Mets.
It's the Mets.
It's the Mets. You'll never have a good feeling about them. Aren't like a bunch of teams in the NL doing really well?
Yeah.
Because that was like the topic that I saw that was going on. There's a lot of teams that are resurging right now.
Well,
everyone in the NL East except for the Mets was hot for a hot second.
Yeah, no.
The Nats even won 5 in a row.
And then Hayden's Padres take is looking better by the week. They're slowly climbing their way up. They may pass the Dodgers.
They're tied with the Dodgers right now.
They won't pass the Dodgers.
They're tied with the Dodgers right now.
They won't pass the Dodgers.
The Giants are right behind them too. I don't know if you saw on the Blue Jays, he has a big hurt injury. It looks like it's not confirmed yet, but I mean he's definitely out for the rest of the season, maybe all of next. Hyun-Jin Ryu of the Toronto Blue Jays might have to get Tommy John.
That's a
big L.
Yeah.
Especially for the Blue Jays, because he's not nearly as dominant as he was with the Dodgers, but he's still a really good pitcher. Really sucks for them. It looks like the Yankees are just going to run away with that division.
Yeah.
The Yankees are just killing it this season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, when Aaron Judge is like the best player in baseball right now.
Yeah, he's got the most home runs.
Other than Manny Machado. Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, he's on a contract here, so he decided I'm just gonna,
Yeah.
show out.
Yeah.
Contract years will do that to you.
You wanna know what the worst part, Jeremy?
What's that?
He's underperforming his expected statistics. And he's still one of the best hitters in baseball.
That's a fun thing.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
All I remember from fantasy was like, oh, he's the highest rated player on the Yankees. Let's pick him. It's stupid how well my fantasy team is doing. I had no clue what I was doing.
I won my first week.
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, you gave me a lot of help, Hayden. Hayden helped me a lot, but it's just kind of stupid how many good players I have. It's like a small draft pool too, because there wasn't that many of us, so.
Yeah.
Because like now that I'm starting to know MLB players, I'm like, how the fuck did I get Aaron Judge and then Manny Machado?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Manny Machado's having a really good year too.
Yeah, Manny Machado just decided to show up this year.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I just got really lucky. No,
I mean, he's a good player. It's just, and he's cooling off a little bit. But, Manny Machado's really good, I mean, there's no way around that, you know?
There's a reason he got paid $300 million.
He's really good. He's just kind of been underperforming, in my opinion, the past couple of years compared to, like, what Manny Machado can be. And we're seeing what Manny Machado can be.
Well, I think I picked him because you said you were really high on him. So
yeah. No, there was like something of his underlying numbers. I can't remember what it was last year. Where it was like, oh, Manny Machado might have a good year this year.
So what's something with underlying numbers like you can tell that a player is gonna like pop off? Like what's a good sign for that?
I mean, in baseball, so there's a batting average in balls in play. And so if you're having the league average on that is about 300. If it's, a good bit below that, like his 2019, he had like a 274 BABIP, which, I mean, that's going really far back, but I'm on his stat page, so I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
So, like, he underperformed that year, and, he could have done better. Another
hard
thing.
Ball rate. Hitting the ball hard.
Yeah, your hard hit rate is big. Your barrel rate is big. Something that I look at is like kind of like your home run, the fly ball ratio. I think that's really important. And then kind of just how much you're hitting it on the ground. Because, someone who just is hitting the ball really hard and hitting it on the ground, like, okay, hey, this guy kind of tinkers with his swing a little bit, and, he's a guy who's going to be really good. Just little things like that. Because, baseball, they track, like, every little thing. Like,
Yeah.
At what degree did the ball come off the bat and at how many miles per hour?
In what stadium?
In what stadium? Like, that's kind of
on a sunny afternoon.
Exactly. And it's just, you can kind of, it's easy to predict things in baseball compared to other sports, I feel like. But.
Because you have all the numbers and
I think that's a part of the reason why I like baseball so much. There's just so much data.
It translates to math easier than any other sport.
Yeah.
And then what's the hardest? I would say football's the hardest sport to predict.
Well,
I would say football.
Football because of sample size.
Yeah, smaller sample size, and then injuries is so much more of a factor there because you're more likely to get injured. Like there's guaranteed that you're one injury away from your season being fucked.
Right. I mean, that's every sport, though.
Yeah, but I feel like especially for football, if Tom Brady gets injured, the Bucs are not winning the Super Bowl. If Green Bay has Aaron Rodgers get hurt, they're not winning the Super Bowl.
Well, I mean, I could say this. Could say the same thing about if Tampa Bay loses Vasilevsky for the year, they're not winning anything.
That's very true. But it's just like they didn't have Stamkos, one of their best players. They've won a cup. Needless to say, if like there was a few other pieces that got hurt, they could lose it. But they didn't have Braden Point for most of this playoffs, and they still looked phenomenal. So it's just the fact that they've overcome some major injuries to a core piece of their roster, and they're still winning. But of course, good goaltending covers up a lot of holes.
I didn't know Manny Machado could opt out after next year.
He can opt out next year?
He can opt out of his contract after next year, yeah.
Do you think he will?
I mean, it depends. Probably not, because he's making $32 million for the rest of his contract every year.
So he'd be giving up $32 million.
The only reason why he would is because he would be into his 32-year season, right? And it's like, hey, I think I can get more than what's 32 times 5? 32 times 5.
160.
160. So he's like, I can get more than 160 on a free agent deal. It might be more years, whatever. And it's like, I'll take the more money now. Then, rather, no one wants to sign a 38-year-old to a 2-year, more than a 2-year deal. And so, I can get that another big deal now rather than, maybe I can get $200 million. If I'm playing really good, I'm playing MVP caliber, someone will give me $40 million.
Do you think he will? And would you pay him more?
Would I pay him more than? Well, I mean, it
If
depends.
he keeps
It
his pace
depends.
up for
All
the
right.
next 2 years, then yeah.
I think that's a really tough question.
Just because you have to see how.
If he's performing at the same level, I have to then put on, okay, what team am I cap?
Yeah.
And if Manny Machado is the piece, like I'm missing a MVP caliber third baseman. Like I don't really have. I just got some Joe Schmo at third. Paying this guy this much is gonna, because you also have to outbid everybody. And if there's not a really big market for third baseman in 2 years, because Jose Ramirez is staying put. I'm just trying to think if Rafael Devers might be a free agent by then. I'm just trying to think of other third basemen that would be on the market.
I don't know. There's not that many. I don't know when Rendon's contract is up.
Oh, it's not for a while. And he's not getting that big deal.
He's not going to demand another big contract.
He's not a free agent until he's 38, I think.
I don't know when Arenado's contract is up.
He can opt out, I think, whenever, pretty much.
Devers, you already said. I don't know.
I think he could. Here's my answer. He could get that. He could get more. Do I think he will? No. I think at best he's gonna get if he opts out, he's gonna get a Correa type contract where he gets 3 years at a ridiculous AAV, and then he'd have to play it again. And I don't know how much that's worth doing that. Plus, I don't know how much he likes San Diego. Maybe he really likes San Diego and wants to stay there. Maybe he hates San Diego. He's like, man, this city sucks. My teammates suck. The front office doesn't know what they're doing. I want to go to a team that can win, like the Anaheim Ducks. And,
The AHL affiliate for the Ducks is in San Diego. They're the San Diego Gulls.
I'm sensing a connection
here.
Yeah.
He's going to the Angels, baby.
The
that's
Norfolk
what they need.
Admirals
It's another
used to be the
overpaid
Ducks AHL affiliate.
I'm glad they left.
Yeah.
I've been to Norfolk. It's not a nice
John Gibson and Frederick Anderson were the most notable prospects I know played for the Admirals. So that was cool to watch them. You would just hear that, oh my God, the goalie stood on his head last night for the Admirals. Like, you knew they were good before they worked their way up the Anaheim pipeline.
Arenado can opt out after this year.
So that's a name that could be out there. He probably won't, but...
Well, because he'll be a free agent in 2028. He could, because right now he's making 35, 32, 27, 15. So he can flatten that AAV a little bit. It's like a 30 million AAV or whatever on his contract. He could get a little bit higher than that, I think. I don't know. Baseball's weird. Every single offseason is completely different. GMs will be GMs. And yeah, I think it would be funny to watch some swap teams.
Solid. What?
Nothing. I just, went silent for a second. I just watch you switch the background.
That's how we do things here at the Triple Threat Show.
You don't want to talk about how good Harrison Bader is?
Harrison who?
Harrison Bader.
Is he good? He's fine. He didn't stop the ball from going over his head last night, but whatever.
Jeremy, who's the best player in baseball right now?
The best player.
Aaron Judge. Sorry, you didn't ask me, but I feel like.
Yeah, if you're talking about this season, then yes, it's Aaron Judge. Best player in baseball, maybe Acuna, maybe Soto. Mike Trout, probably.
What's Mike Trout doing this year?
He started off real hot and then kind of cooled down because he went over 30 over a stretch, and I think he's back.
I'm looking.
But if you're going for right now, Aaron Judge is clear cut.
Probably. You could throw Ohtani in there. I don't know.
Aaron Judge on pace to hit 65 home runs.
Yeah.
What's the home run record?
It's 64.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all.
It's like I didn't know how good. What he has like 24 right now.
He's in the mid-20s. I don't know.
Yeah,
where
so I was like, I mean, I'm like, where is this when it comes to all-time records?
You know, he's been on pace to break the record for about a month now.
Okay, that is terrifying.
It is terrifying.
Start walking this guy.
Sorry, it's just funny. So this guy has taken played seven plate appearances, 2 games for the Phillies. And he's on the injured list right now. And I'm looking on the on pace records or like percentages. And because he was so good in those 7 plate appearances, and it's like, every game from now on, he's on pace to have a 500 batting average, 571 on base, 133 slugging, and have like an 11.5 WAR season, which obviously he's not gonna do.
Matt Carpenter is on pace to hit 2 home runs every day.
Jose Ramirez is projected to be the best player in baseball.
What team does he play for?
The
Cleveland Guardians. He's projected to be a 10-win above replacement third baseman.
He's very good.
Aaron Judge is projected to be 9.8. And then Goldschmidt and Devers are there. Manny Machado's
Does Goldschmidt still have his hit streak going?
I don't know.
He didn't talk about it.
I don't know.
Last I looked, it was up to like 28.
He went 4 for 4 in game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday. So I would assume so. He's the hottest player in baseball right now, I think. But yeah, let's go to the NFL. Enough baseball. No one likes that sport anyway.
No, I need to look something up. Sorry. Okay, it doesn't tell me.
All right. Where do you want to start this off?
I want to start this off with Minkah Fitzpatrick, the big news of the day today. Minkah Fitzpatrick, all-pro safety on the Pittsburgh Steelers, just signed a 4-year, I believe, $18-point-something million contract, making him the highest-paid safety in NFL history.
That's AAV?
No, that's total, I believe.
Okay. $18 million?
Yeah, safeties don't get paid that much.
That sucks.
I have to look up the exact contract details. Hold on.
I got you.
Minkah Fitzpatrick contract. There it is. 4 years, 73. It is AAV. 73 million.
Yeah, I was
gonna say.
It's worth 18.4 per year. Okay, yeah.
It's a 5-year. 17.5 is what I have.
It should be 4 years.
Oh, it outpaces somebody else. Sorry, the previous record was 17.5.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude, just phenomenal safety. I know he's like up there for just getting picks. I know when he was traded, he had like
the Steelers
2 pick sixes.
Yeah, the Steelers
when he got traded.
Had a 500 season that the year that Ben Roethlisberger was hurt. And I think this is the idea that the Steelers are going off of. They were like, remember the year that we didn't have a quarterback? Because of this dude, we didn't lose our over 500 streak. For those who don't know, their coach, Mike Tomlin, has never had a season where they are less than 500. And he's been coaching for a very, very long time. So they were like, this dude was the guy that secured us that back when we didn't have a quarterback. And guess what? We don't have a quarterback this year. So let's get him going. Let's see if we can do the same thing.
I mean, that defense is still scary with
you got
Rudolph and
defensive player of the year, TJ Watt,
TJ Watt, yeah.
He just tied the sack record for the season. He probably should have broken it.
If he wasn't injured.
No. I mean, he had a sack that didn't count as a sack.
In the
record books. So he technically beat it.
And he also missed 3 games.
Yeah. So, yes, he was insane. And he's back. You have Minka Fitzpatrick back there in the secondary, and you have a lot of solid pieces along with them. That Steeler defense is very good. But we'll see. I think this is a good move for them. Like, good to lock him up.
$36 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Snaps for that.
That's very good.
I wish I had $36 million.
Yeah. You love it when people get their money. It's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I was just really delayed, Shane. I'm sorry. That was funny.
Yeah. I just figured might as well get in there late.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So, that's the big news coming out of today.
Did you hear I know so Minka was actually a Miami Dolphins draft pick, and then they traded him away.
Yep.
And then Tyreek Hill, the newest wide receiver on the Dolphins, was talking mad shit about Patrick Mahomes. I think he was just doing it for publicity, honestly.
So he has a podcast. It's called the It Needed to Be Said podcast. And basically what he said was Patrick Mahomes didn't utilize him as best as they could, which isn't
some
true.
Bullshit.
I don't do QBs decide their offensive
the Chiefs, but it was basically an attempt to say, hey guys, you know how everyone's saying Tua has a noodle arm and Tyreek Hill's gonna suck because Tua can't hit him deep because he sucks at throwing the ball deep because he doesn't have the arm strength. He wanted to stop that. I think that's all this was.
And then he also seems like he wanted more credit for Patrick Mahomes being good.
Yeah, he basically said something like, the way they used me wasn't great. And his co-host was like, so would you rather just go deep and then have to wait a bit to get the ball, just try and locate it, or would you rather have it hit you right in the breadbasket and take it 70 yards to the house? And Tyreek Hill was like, I'd like it right in the breadbasket, like a little crossing route, like a nice short.
Because he gets more credit. It looks more impressive.
And also it's for Tua, because Tua cannot make those 60 yards, the 60-yard throws. Patrick Mahomes can. Tua cannot.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. He was being a good teammate. That's what I look at it as.
Just a wide receiver being a diva.
Yeah, it didn't need to be said.
Yeah. I just thought it was like, he's just being dramatic and just trying to stir the pot. It's just Patrick Mahomes is by far like he's on a different level than Tua right now. Like,
yeah, of course.
How do you feel? I feel like Tua, I feel like he's good, but he's definitely not. The ceiling isn't really. I don't really see a high ceiling on him.
So here's the thing about him. He's barely played in his career. He's played very few games. And I don't know if he's good or not.
Did he play all of last season?
He was hurt for a bit. And the Dolphins and Brian Flores really did not like him. They kept trying to bench him and stuff whenever they could. Like, the whole thing with Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
They take him out in the fourth quarter. That's not good.
For Ryan Fitzpatrick to win it.
Mm-hmm. This is the first year where they're giving Tua a chance. They're giving Tua a chance to, show that he has the ability.
There are no excuses.
No, there aren't excuses.
Yeah.
They went and got him Tyreek Hill. They went and got a top-tier offensive lineman in Teron Armstead.
Their tight end starts
Mike
with a G.
Gesicki is
Gesicki,
very good.
yeah.
You've got Jalen Waddle in his second year. This team is set up for success. You went and got a couple running backs.
Raheem Mostert being one of them.
I don't think it was Mostert. They went and
they had got Mostert, but I don't know.
They had Mostert last year. I think they cut him.
No, Mostert was on San Francisco, but he got an ACL injury and done for the season.
Right, I forgot. There's like 20 running backs because they signed another. They had signed a different former San Francisco running back that had injury issues.
Yeah,
it was Matt Breida. They had Matt Breida last year, so they're just cycling through them.
Yeah.
But they went out and they got Chase Edmonds from the Cardinals.
That's a good addition. He had a good season for the Cardinals.
Right. So they went and got pieces for him. The defense is good. This is no excuses. This is Tua time.
Yeah.
Because the rumor is if he doesn't do good enough, then guess who's knocking on the door next year?
Who?
Big old man named Tom Brady.
It's going to another Florida team.
There were rumors this offseason. This was a long time ago. We just
I
didn't talk
remember
about
this.
it. Yeah, that he was gonna own the team and play for it, and Sean Payton was gonna be the head coach. And apparently there was some life behind the rumor, and it just didn't happen because Brian Flores sued the NFL. So, that's an interesting.
Crashed again. You hate to see it. Oh my. Internet really don't want to be working with us today.
Yeah. And the internet was dead, yeah.
Yeah, it died. I died for a minute there.
Oh wow, we have 2 people watching. That's so exciting. But no. Hayden, I know last week you said you weren't ready to talk about the retirement of Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I thought I'd give you the opportunity now.
We had another segment planned. Let's get to that first. Yeah.
No. We'll do this one first.
Listen. I have a lot of thoughts about those other things, and like I can't deliver this speech from the heart until I get these thoughts off my head. Otherwise I'm gonna be talking about how I think the certain player that plays out in a city is the best addition of the offseason.
Yes, I did pose these guys a question. The question was, what do you think is the greatest addition this offseason? What affected a team? It doesn't have to be addition, it could be a subtraction. What is the biggest, most impactful move of this offseason? Do you have an answer?
Do you have an answer, Shane?
Oh, I thought you were talking. Hayden was going first because he was going on about the Fitzpatrick thing or the off-season move thing. I just didn't know where this was going.
Yeah, his retirement is the most impactful thing on the league. Yeah. I mean, what more is there to say? It's just so sad. I'm gonna miss him so much. No, I think Devontae Adams going to the Raiders is huge. Mostly because Green Bay loses him and the Raiders gain him. And he's now going to play with the sexiest quarterback in the NFL, Derek Carr. And yeah, I don't know what more is there to say.
You're betraying Matt Stafford? No, it was
Matt Stafford. It was Matt Stafford. You're right.
Okay.
No, I mean, listen, he got his ring. He's gonna, that post. What's the post victory championship? You know what the thing they say about the championships? You're always drinking and stuff. He's gonna put on a couple pounds, and I don't know how Stafford's gonna look with that extra weight. But Derek Carr, he's working hard. And
the Raiders also went and they paid Hunter Renfrow as well.
Yeah.
And Cooper Kupp also got paid. We didn't talk about that, but there were more wide receiver contracts.
Yeah, a lot of people got paid. Okay, Jeremy.
Uh-huh.
And Derek Carr, he's gonna get paid soon.
He already got paid this offseason.
He's gonna get paid again. After he wins Defensive Player of the Year. That's right. They were like, you know what? We need some of that two-way action they got going on in baseball. They're going to make him a linebacker.
Of course.
And a QB.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
My biggest improvement is the division rival, the Denver Broncos, getting Russell Wilson. I just think they're getting that. They always needed that franchise quarterback, and now that they have it, I think they are definitely – they have a chance to contend in the division. I'm not going to say that they are going to – it's going to be a hard division to win, but they have a chance. A solid chance with Russell Wilson. A
franchise QB?
He is a franchise QB.
Yes, he absolutely is a franchise QB.
Wasn't he, not good second half coming off that injury?
Well, Seattle didn't do him any favors.
He broke his hand. He broke his finger.
The offensive line was awful. How do we know how he's
going to heal that, though? Do we know if he's going to be good still?
Because other players have come off that exact same injury and been perfectly fine.
Yeah. And he's on a better team.
At the end of the season last year, he was really good. He had fully recovered, and he had some pretty solid games.
Okay.
He just came back too soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Denver has the better offensive line. He's got some good weapons. And then Seattle also got a haul, so they have some pretty good. They got an offensive lineman with their 9th overall pick, and they have like a first and a second next year. They have good tools for rebuild. Like Noah Fant is solid tight end. So yeah, I think for both teams it works out pretty well.
It's true. I don't think it works out well for both teams. I think the Seahawks are fucked. But I think the most impactful move of this offseason, we talked about it a little bit, is
what else are you gonna do though? Like
draft a quarterback.
Yeah, but yeah,
they had 2 picks in a row in the second round, and they didn't draft a quarterback. They drafted another running back.
Well, what about next year? What if they like a guy next year and they can use that first round pick?
You have no idea if that guy's going to be there next year. Like, next year's going to be a good class. I agree. That's what I'm waiting. That the Giants should draft a quarterback next year.
Yeah. But you shouldn't draft a quarterback for the sake of drafting a quarterback. If it's not your guy, then don't draft that guy.
Well, just go trade for Baker Mayfield, you know?
Yeah, trade for Baker. He only has 1 year on his contract.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm just like, from a value standpoint, they got good value in return for that's as good as you're gonna get for trading for Russell Wilson, getting 2 firsts, 2 seconds.
You're right. They got
a backup quarterback and a solid tight end, and then whatever other player that was thrown in there. I don't know how good he was.
Listen. That's all I'm gonna say. Right? Is if you want to get better picks, right? You got to be historically bad. And if you don't have a quarterback, you can be historically bad.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's not lying.
I know.
I think the most impactful move for both sides, aside from Russell Wilson, because I think that was going to be my answer, but the other one is Tyreek Hill, and we talked about it a little bit already. Not only is that going to affect, is that going to set up the Dolphins' offense incredibly well, but it's also the effect that it left on the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs are now. Name a receiver on the Chiefs for me, Shane.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
I was hoping you didn't know. Okay.
Should have asked me.
They still have Kelsey, but you lose the weapon. Juju is not a replacement for Tyreek Hill.
There is no replacement.
He's one of one. Especially with how much that the rest of that division went in revamped. It's one of those things that I think that's going to come and bite them in the butt more than they expected to. And I think that's the most impactful move of this offseason.
It was an arms race, and the Chiefs didn't acquire any more weapons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They lost some. They denuclearized.
They denuclearized, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think they're expecting Hartman to step up a bit.
And they drafted this dude Sky Moore, who is supposed to be good, but I'm not convinced.
Oh
what
yeah,
more
so Sky
do you
Moore,
want from him?
I want him to prove himself.
Yeah. Oh, so Sky Moore, he's an alumni from my sister's high school.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, so Shady Side Academy, he used to go there, so it was cool to see him get drafted to the Chiefs.
No one liked my joke.
I love.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
His expectation.
The one that we stopped with these awful puns. It's called Hayden's segment of the week.
Hayden's segment.
Question. Hayden's question of the week. What's your question?
I have an easy one for you guys today. What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
It's boring.
Oh, cookies and cream. That's always been my go-to.
Defend yourself.
Yeah.
That's
the wrong choice.
I like Oreos in my ice cream. Oreos are pretty good. Then put them in ice cream. Milk's favorite cookie. It's just like a different, colder, churned form of milk. So yeah,
the marketing got you in. Hide.
What?
My favorite flavor of ice cream is called chocolate mousse tracks. Let me tell you about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you all about this. It's got the chocolate ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Delicious. It's got those peanut butter cups. Pairs beautifully with it. And you know what else it's got in there? It's got these little like brownie bits. Top tier. Good shit. Best ice cream.
Doesn't Moose Tracks have marshmallows in it?
No?
What flavor am I thinking of that has marshmallows in it?
Rocky Road.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say like Rocky Road. It's like yeah. I just got those two mixed up. All right, Hayden, what about you?
See, I don't know anymore. When I was a kid, this is gonna be a story here. When I was a kid, what I used to do was I'd get a large cup of ice cream whenever I went out, right? I'd get the large cup of vanilla ice cream, and then on it I would put rainbow sprinkles,
Of course.
classic topping,
Solid.
M&Ms, a salt topping, and gummy worms.
That's a controversial one right there.
And all of that together would form the greatest cup of ice cream you've ever had.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't hate it too much.
I don't know. It's the gummy. It's like because you have to chew that.
There's a lot of textures there. Yeah.
It's not even.
It's
I don't like
everything.
I don't like putting M&Ms in my ice cream just
I love
because
M&Ms in my ice cream.
it's just I don't know. It hurts my teeth because it's like the ice cream's super cold, and then having to bite through that M&M. It's just
that's what I'm saying with the gummy worms, because you don't have to bite through the M&M. You can let that melt in your mouth. You can let that happen. But with the gummy worms, you gotta chew that, and also the ice cream like sticks to it and it like hardens the gummy worms.
Yeah.
So it makes it harder to bite through.
What?
And
I've never had that happen.
Oh, maybe whenever you all come back, I'll make this for you. Just so you understand the deliciousness that is.
Also, like, I'm not gonna come out here and slander vanilla because vanilla's fine.
Yeah.
I think vanilla's a solid, like, when you're pairing it with things, like when you have toppings, I think vanilla's a fine choice.
But
like my favorite flavor has vanilla in it, so.
Right, but at the same time, vanilla is just like not as good as chocolate.
I think on its own, yes. Vanilla on its own, if you have just plain vanilla ice cream and that's it, I think you're a sociopath, and I think a lot of bad things about you. If you just have plain chocolate, okay, yeah, that's a bland choice, but it's okay. I don't judge you for it.
I would say vanilla is just a better base for like a sundae.
Yeah, vanilla's a good base.
Yeah,
that's fair. I
think it's a really, I think it's the best
that's
base.
why I wasn't coming out here and slandering vanilla. I wasn't about to say it's not a flavor, because it absolutely is a flavor. It's a solid flavor at that. It's just not top choice.
A solid second place for me is like mint chocolate chip ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's a solid.
It's not a second place, but I love me.
I hate mint. I hate mint.
Why?
Oh. Just as a flavor, it's disgusting.
Yeah, I know, like that's controversial for some people, but like mint or mint cookies and cream even. Oh, that's a solid choice. Solid choice.
Good shit.
So refreshing.
Lately, I've been going with chocolate chip cookie dough. Is what I've been having.
Solid flavor.
Yeah.
That's an A.
Now that I'm not a child anymore. But I might need to go get some sprinkles and some M&Ms and some gummy worms next time I'm at the store with some vanilla ice cream.
It's true. We might have to go try things.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You guys do anything fun next week before this next show?
Men's league is starting again for hockey. I actually played my first men's league game this Sunday.
How'd it
go? We lost in a shootout, but no one showed up. We only had 5 players, so I was on the ice the entire time. That's tired.
Super cool.
But my teammates are pretty good, so all I had to do was just stay back and just give them the puck. That was my job.
That's a job. It's a good job.
Yeah.
Better than looking at Dollar Tree, let me tell you.
Oh,
so yeah, about remember how I was talking about us trying to get a raise?
Uh-huh.
So it turns out my store manager can't give out raises because there's a new policy that was enacted recently. So now my email has worked its way up to corporate, and so I have to wait on corporate to see if they would give me a raise.
That's fun.
So hopefully I can get that extra pay raise, because it's unfair to have my coworker making $2 more an hour than I am.
Yeah, no, we love that. We love
I'm
that.
not making what I was told I was making. I don't know if I told you guys this.
That's illegal.
Yeah. I was told, yo, hey, you're going to be making 13 an hour. I've not been making 13 an hour.
You should sue them.
Yeah.
It's not enough to sue.
I will march into Dollar Tree headquarters.
It's $60
and I will
worth
demand
of missed
that
wages.
you get a pay raise.
It's like $60 worth of missed wages, which, sucks. But it's not like lawsuit level sucks. I have to wait for the DM to get back from vacation before anything can happen, which is fun.
Hayden, just say the word. I will drive to Dollar Tree's headquarters, and I will put a sign. Give Hayden a raise.
I'm putting in my 2 weeks tomorrow, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Nice.
I mean, fair enough.
We love that.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you have a new job lined up, or?
Not yet. I just decided I'm gonna put in my 2 weeks last night, so.
All right. Well, to everyone that listened and watched, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been the Triple Threat Show on our YouTube channel at the Triple Threat Show. Go check us out on Instagram. We also have a TikTok, but I haven't posted anything there, so go check it out. At the Triple Threat Show, or maybe it's just the Triple Threat, or maybe it's just Triple Threat Show.
He doesn't know to log in anymore.
I do. I'm logged in. I haven't posted anything. Anyway, I have been Jeremy Lapidus, host of the Triple Threat Show, joined as always by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane Brisland
and
Hayden Raymer.
Thank you so much for listening. Good night.
Oh wait, I gotta end the stream.